Welcome back on the program. We go on now to our major discussion this morning, as so much is going on in Kano State, and the major priority now is keeping the peace and maintaining law and order as the arrival of the 15th Emir of Kano Aminu Bayero is in a way of complicating plans for the smooth transition in the state. The governor has also ordered the arrest of the former Emir Aminu Bayero. Now, joining us to discuss this from Kano is a special advisor to the governor on national and international public relations, Muhammadu Yusuf. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you so much, and good morning, viewers.
All right, how peaceful is Kano State at the moment with this particular order coming from the governor of the state?
Well, at the moment, as I speak to you, Kano is very, very peaceful. If you notice, since this process began on Tuesday up to today, there is no any incidents that has happened at any particular place. People have been going about their normal businesses as if nothing has even happened in the state. In fact, from the background of where I am now, maybe you could be hearing the sounds of whistles. I have about 2 football pitches that I'm overlooking here, and the youths are playing football and having fun. So Kano State is very peaceful at the moment as I speak to you.
Well, I would want to know if these parties, these emirs that were asked to evacuate the palace, were given some sort of notice ahead. Were both parties informed? I'm sure that the Northern Elders Forum had predicted that this will lead to some sort of tensions. Arresting the former emir, is that the way to go now?
Well, at the moment, let me tell you one thing. Already a process has already started, and the government has already taken its position, and the Emir Sanusi has already been reinstated. The best approach to issues like this is for Alhaji Aminu Bayero, even if he has grievances with what the state government has done for him. The most civil way is to approach it from the perspective of the legal system, not for him to come into Kano at this particular time. Because like the law says in the northern part of Nigeria, which has to do with the issues on an unwritten law, is that you cannot have emirs, you can never have 2 things at a time in the state. So the government was left with an unavoidable decision, but to make that order, because as I'm speaking to you, once you have such happening, of course, mobilization of youths can begin, and you don't know, from a small thing, it can snowball into mayhem, and that is exactly what we are moving around the state now, doing and talking to as many youths and people around to say, hey, be calm, the government is at top of this situation, because we cannot afford to have anybody lose his life or anybody to be injured at this particular time.
Despite the court order, that is the ex parte order, the governor went ahead to reinstate Sanusi Lamido Sanusi as the 16th emir of that state. Is that not an affront to break the law and order?
I don't know if you are very conversant with the processes of the legal jurisdiction and the legal system. If a court issues an order, you can only act on an order that has been served on you. Once an order...
All right, I think we lost connection.
The Kano State government has not been served with any order that has to do with that order. But the order has been flying in social media. We have seen it. You can of it, because orders are not being served on the social media. If the court wants the order to be served on the social media, the court gives order that this should be on the national dailies or it should be on social media. But to that effect, nobody has seen that. So only an order that has been served can be adhered to by the state government. You know it, it is the process.
All right, I think we're having a network challenge with Muhammadu Yusuf at the moment. We hope. Okay, he's back at the moment. You can go on with your line of thought. You can go on with your line of thought at the moment, Mohammed Yusuf.
Hear me?
All right. It seems you're having network challenge at this time. You heard him there saying
of
that
course, we'll have him
the
back
ex-party order.
Can you hear me?
Okay, we can
Yes,
hear you
we
now.
can.
You can go on with your line of thought.
Okay, so you know the court processes. Court processes are processes that you must be served. Once you are not served an order of the court, so it's as good exist. With all due respect, we respect courts. We respect the separation of powers. We understand that in any governments, the judiciary, the parliamentary, that is the legislature, and the executive must, if there is an order from the court, it has to be served on the state government before the state government can be able to act on it.
All right. Very quickly, can you walk us through how this transition process will work? I understand that the law guarding the Emirates says that it seems we're still having issues with the network. But if you can hear me, I understand that the laws governing the Emirates sort of says that everything that happened before 2019, everything returns to status quo. How possible is it for a former emir to work with the new emir without a clash in interest?
Well, all these things are about understanding. You get my point. It's all about understanding. It's all about understanding. If they agree and they want to understand themselves and work together, we will be very happy and we will be very supportive of it. It has happened in several clans. Even in the past, during historical times, we have had times when wars were being fought and one emir is deposed and another one, maybe a direct descendant or a direct brother, is being appointed. I think there is one or two histories that we have to that, but at this particular time, all we can do as government is to approach it from the civil perspective by advising them that cohesion, because even the governor in his own speech, he advised the emir that the clan of Alhaji Ibrahim Dabo, the emir, who all of them are descendants, even His Excellency Abba Kabir Yusuf, because he too is a blue blood, like like the former Emir Aminu Bayero and Emir Sanusi, all of them are direct descendants of Emir of Kano, Ibrahim Dabo. So for him, the governor of Kano State, Alhaji Abba Kabir Yusuf, this is even a more like a family affair for him, and he understands it very well. So I believe we can find a way that we can promote cohesion so that they can be able to work. Because all this thing is not geared towards animosity, or it is being done with bad blood or with the intent to kick somebody out. But a system was done, and people have been writing letters to the National Assembly complaining and requesting the National Assembly to revisit this matter and look at it. And at the end of the day, the National Assembly bow to the pressure of people and they look back into this matter, and that is where we are today. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Yusuf, if you say it is a family affair, now, do you see politics at play at this time? And why this drama going on in Kano Emirate at this time?
Well, this drama, there is no politics to it in this particular time. But, 4 years ago, Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje at that time, in his own wisdom, decided that he doesn't want to work with Emir Sanusi at that particular time. And the same processes, they went to the State Assembly, and the State Assembly amended the law governing the Emirate in Kano State, and the governor appended his signature, and 5 Emirates were created. And after the 5 Emirates were created, then he removed Emir Sanusi and made this appointment. But let me tell you why I say it is not politics. Once your past is in conflict with the present, the future will definitely be in jeopardy. Kano State Emirate is not a creation of any law of the National Assembly or anything like that. It took several wars for Kano State Emirate to be created. I'm talking about this happened more than 1,000 years ago, and they established their kingdom through wars before even the colonial masters came. And even when the colonial masters came, they made Kano Emirate the way that it is, and it was left like this. So we cannot afford to drag our own history into mud. This history is a history that we love and we must live with it. In fact, let me even tell you, Governor Ganduje is not even the first to do this. Governor Abubakar Rimi of blessed memory, he was the one that amended and added so many emirates in Kano. When His Excellency, late Governor Sabo Bakinzo, equally of blessed memory, came, he did the same thing by dethroning all those emirs and uniting Kano as one kingdom. So it is not new. It has happened before. And even it happening today, I am telling you,
all right,
even if it is
Mr.
happening
Yusuf,
in the future, yeah.
Finally, before we let you go, we've not really gotten any updates as regards the other emirs. What is the state of affairs as regarding that? Are they open to, discussions or open to working with the new administration?
Well, the government of Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf will be ready for them to sit down and have discussion at any particular time that issue comes up. But as I'm speaking to you at the moment, I am quite involved in so many things that I have not really paid attention to what is the position of the remaining 4 emirs. But with you asking me this question, once I leave this place and we're able to avert any crisis happening in Kano State, I will do everything humanly possible to find out on this particular issue. And if another opportunity comes, then I will come back and I will talk with you.
All right, finally, what does this portend to the sanctity and integrity of traditional institutions in the country?
Well, it is quite unfortunate, if I'm to be honest. It is quite unfortunate. What happened 4 years ago when the Kano Emirate was balkanized, that is one of the most unfortunate things that has been done to the institution of tradition and our own culture. And His Excellency Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, by his own action, was just righting the wrongs that has happened 4 years ago. And I believe, by the grace of the Almighty God, everything this government will do to make sure that we protect the sanctity of this traditional institution going forward.
Well, I must say many thanks for joining us on the program this morning, Muhammad Yusuf, Special Advisor to the Governor there. We'll take a quick break at this time. Okay, I'm told that we have a social commentator, Shijibomi Adebi Bennett, joining us anytime soon. But Olamide, what do you make of all of this? You heard him there saying that it is not politics. It's a family affairs.
Of course, he's representing the government, so he would admit to the fact that it is not politics. But if you look at the trend from the former governor up until this time, they had to remove the 16th emir because of, they said he was insubordinate. They used that word for removing him from the throne. And right now we know that the current emir has some sort of affiliation with the current governor, and also sort of a friend to some other parties in the ruling party in that state. So let's leave it political aside. Let's talk about the major issue here, which is maintaining peace
and order. And that is
region.
What is sacrosanct at this time. We have joined us on Zoom this morning, social commentator Shijibomi Adebi Bennett. Many thanks for having you on the program this morning. How crucial is peace returning back to Kano State at this time? We saw all the drama. What is your take on this latest development with the order of the governor arresting the 15th emir of the state? What do you make of all of this drama in Kano State?
Good morning to you in the studio and good morning to the viewers. And let me emphasize that the views I'm going to share are my personal views and based on facts, based on observation. I'm not from Kano State, but as a social commentator, we look at patterns, we look at what antecedents and see where we're heading to, because for you to know your future, you must also visit your past. For the first time, I think people are beginning to realize that the battle of the elite is not their battle. When the elites do their thing, the masses suffer most of the time. if we can recall, there is a pattern to this. Everybody, and this is based on facts, everybody can blame the previous administration, which did not cover itself also in so much glory, about the removal of SLS, Samisu Lamido Sanusi. It was something of intolerance on the part of a party and insubordination on the part of another party. We all saw that, because what happened at that time, there is no I don't think there is any governor in the nation that could have taken that. And we should not forget, it's not the first time it's happening, even in Kano or in Sokoto at a point in time when we had the military government. And everything was also about insubordination, because the Constitution of Nigeria even rates local government chairman or chairman ahead of kings. So that's the Constitution. There's nothing anybody can do about it unless it is amended. So a local government chairman is the one that is supposed to even give the staff of office, though he comes from the governor, but he reports to the governor. This is the person that the kingmakers have chosen. And if you look at the antecedent, let's go back to that. When SLS was suspended from the central bank, if it was not suspended at that time, I don't think we will have crisis today.
Mr. Adebi, let me put you on the pause at the moment. Let's quickly bring our correspondent who is in Kano, Ibrahim Issa. Many thanks for having you, Ibrahim, on the program this morning. What is the situation report in Kano at the moment? Ibrahim Issa, are you there? Hello, Ibrahim, are you there? Can you quickly bring us up to speed about development? What's the mood like in Kano this morning? I'm afraid. Okay, let's continue with Adebe Shijibomi. Can you quickly continue with your line of thoughts as regards to development in Kano?
Yes. So it was reported before SLS was suspended from the CBN that the kingmakers had already chosen the recently deposed emir and even Sanusi Lamido Sanusi on Twitter, because we always say the internet never forgets, had already congratulated him on his emergence as the new emir. But because we had governors in the PDP who left the PDP as at that time and had a confrontation with the then president, Goodluck Jonathan, and wanted to score political points. So everything was about politics. You could remove him as a CBN governor, but he's coming, because he has a royal blood, he's coming to become an emir. Because all these things are based on facts. The internet never forgets. And the kingmakers who had already chosen someone were brought back to choose another person. That was the beginning of the problem. So, and when he was now on the throne, there were issues with the governor. Always saying the governor said at one point the governor was.
Mr. Shijibomi, I'm sure we can go on and on about what has happened, but I believe we should focus on the way forward. What should be the parameters for ensuring peace at this time? There have been warnings that there may be some sort of tensions following this incident. What should be the way forward?
The way forward is for the kingmakers and the family to protect the sanctity of that throne. It can only happen through that, through the unification of the family. Don't forget that the people we're talking about are like fourth generation cousins. There are reports that they were brought up together in the palace. So politics should not divide the family, because governors at different points in time have introduced politics to divide that family. So for me, maybe from a layman, a humble point of view, I will advise one, maybe recently the post Emir to support SLS, Lamido Sanusi, to publicly just support, surrender the title, so that in the future, we don't have a situation, because politics is evolving. The only thing constant in life is change. And the saying around town is, it will now become, it could get to a point that the emirship, if there's any word like that, now becomes something you renew or you change simultaneously with the governor. Because the governor could come tomorrow, if, for example, Abba Yusuf gets a second term, that's emirship renewed. If he doesn't get, if it's another person that doesn't like the face of the emir, that means the person can also visit the law again. But if the family and the kingmakers put their acts together and to protect the sanctity of Kano, the emirship stood in Kano and says, we are one family going forward, this is our stance, nothing happens to this stool again, and the two parties come together as family, they are brothers, they've been brought up in the palace together, and support each other so that nobody, no governor, uses one against the other again. I think that is the future of protecting the sanctity of that stool. If that does not happen, and something happens in the next 3 years, because in 18 months, we'll be gearing up for another election.
Mr. Adebiyi, let me put you on a pause at the moment. We have our correspondent, Ibrahim Isa, joining us from Kano State. Tell us the mood at the moment in the state. Hello, Ibrahim, are you there?
Adi. Yes, I am. Am I audible?
We can hear you loud and clear. Tell us the mood in the state at the moment.
Okay, interest. Okay, I am currently at the Kano State Police Command headquarters, where we are expecting the Commissioner of Police to brief us on the security situation in the state. Currently, as we speak, we have the 15th Emir Aminu Bayero at the Nasarawa GRA Palace. He came into Kano through the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport a few hours ago. And at about 2 a.m., the 16th Emir of Kano, in company of the governor, the deputy governor, and the speaker of the Kano State House of Assembly, moved to the Kano Emir's palace. So currently, as we speak, the two emirs are at different locations, and all of them are having security cover, the two of them. And well, Kano, today is Saturday, and the weekly sanitation is currently ongoing. So if you move around town, you will see less vehicular movement. There is uneasy calm, so to say, currently in the state. So we will anticipate the outcome of this briefing that is about to take place at the Kano State Police Command to position the state of the security of the state, and we will now know the next line of action as regards the state of the security of the state at this point.
Are there security operatives strategically positioned in different locations in the state?
Yes, there are, especially within the two locations where these two emirs are. But of course, since it's a Saturday and the weekly sanitation is ongoing, there are some security checks across the state to restrict movement of people so that they can use the day to keep their environment clean. So there are presence of security agencies at some strategic locations in the state.
All right, Ibrahim, the guest we had earlier, the special advisor to the governor on national and international public relations, mentioned that there is a protest in front of the palace. Can you confirm that to us?
Well, I've been at the palace at about 1 a.m. and I stayed at the palace alongside the governor, the 16th emir. We were there when the emir took the Kano state governor around the palace before we proceeded to the Kano Aminu Bayero International Airport. We have not seen any of such protests within the emir's palace, but of course there is presence of security agencies within the palace, and there are restrictions to those who want to get access to the palace. There are restrictions there, and of course the people living within the palace are also around, so I have not seen any protests so far that I was there at the emir's palace.
Well, we must say many thanks for joining us on the program this morning, Ibrahim Isa. Let's quickly go back to Adebi. What's your final take on all of this drama in the States at this time?
You know, like I said, it's politics, and we have to. I've given like the first option, which is the most peaceful option for the family to come together, for the kingmakers to stand in on one position and communicate that to the populace. And going forward, there will be peace. The second option is maybe the legal option. So if the case goes all through, if, for example, for the first time, we have a case instituted and also adjudicated all through to the Supreme Court, and there is a pronouncement on who is the rightful occupant of the stool, that lays it bare, and that's the final. But like your correspondent says, for the next 2 or 3 days, we will have on Isikal in Kano.
Shijibomi Adebi Bennett, many thanks for joining us on the program this morning. But quickly, let's bring this particular development to you just a moment after Muhammad Sanusi returned to the palace. The 15th Emir of Kano Aminu Bayero touched down at the Kano airport. Recall that on Thursday, when the new Emir was reinstated, he was out of the town on a trip to Ogun State. Meanwhile, the Deputy Governor of Kano, Aminu Gwazo, says the arrival of the former Emir, Aminu Bayero, changes nothing, that any attempt to remove the new Emir will be resisted.
Nobody is vacating anywhere. And we are being told that they are going to use force to come in and remove the new Emir and brought back the former Emir. That will be resisted vehemently by the people of the state. You can see people trooping in here. And certainly, people will not allow that to happen. We will do everything, we will use every means to resist it.
All right, so meanwhile, heavy security have been deployed to Kano Emir's palace to maintain law and order. The Emir of Kano, while interacting with journalists, expressed joy at this particular development, thanking the government of the state and the national level for their support. We'll take a break at the moment, and we'll be back with entertainment with Theophilos